I'm going to play a real English conversation. And if you understand more than 70%, you're already better than most English learners. You're about to hear a real fast English conversation. No subtitles, no slow pronunciation, no teacher voice, just real English, the way native speakers actually speak. And here's the challenge. If you understand this conversation completely, you're in the top 10% of English learners. Ready? Listen carefully.
Hey, did you end up going to that thing last night? Nah, I was gonna go, but I got caught up at work, and by the time I got home, I was too exhausted. Yeah, same. Honestly, I wasn't even feeling it anyway. But apparently, it was actually pretty fun. Of course, it was the one time we don't go.
So, how much did you understand? Be honest, because this is exactly where most English learners panic. Not because the vocabulary is difficult, but because real English sounds completely different from textbook English. And once you notice this, your listening improves fast. Here's what nobody tells English learners. Native speakers do not pronounce every word clearly. They connect words, they shorten words, they swallow sounds, and sometimes it feels like entire words disappear. For example, going to becomes gonna, did you becomes didja, want to becomes wanna. So when learners wait to hear every perfect word, their brain falls behind. And once your brain falls behind, the next sentence disappears too. That's why fast English feels impossible. But there's something even more important happening. A few years ago, an English learner moved to New York. She had studied English for 12 years. Her grammar was excellent. Her vocabulary was huge. She could read books, watch TED Talks, pass English exams. But on her first day ordering coffee, she froze. The barista asked, "You want a receipt with that?" And her brain completely shut down. Not because her English was bad, but because nobody trained her for real English. And honestly, this happens to millions of learners. Maybe even you. Here's the mistake most learners make. They try to understand English, word by word. But native speakers don't listen that way. They listen in chunks, patterns, emotions, context. For example, if someone says, "Man, I was so tired after work," your brain already predicts what comes next. "I went straight to bed. I didn't want to go out. I crashed on the couch." Native listeners are constantly predicting. That's why they can understand fast conversations, even when sounds disappear. And this changes everything, because improving your listening is not about hearing perfectly. It's about predicting better. Okay, let's test you again. This time, listen for the meaning, not every word. Ready? You still thinking about quitting your job? I mean, kinda. I'm just tired of doing the same thing every day. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, starting over sounds terrifying. True, but staying miserable is probably worse. Yeah, that's the part I keep thinking about. Did you notice something? Even if you missed some words, you probably understood the emotion, the feeling, the situation, and that is how real listening works. Not perfect hearing, human understanding. Now here, S, where things get even crazier. Movies and TV shows are difficult for one reason most learners never realize. Emotion changes pronunciation. When people are excited, they speak faster. When they're nervous, words blend together. When they're angry, sounds disappear completely. Think about it. Nobody calmly says, I do not want to do that. They say, I don't want to do that. Or even, I dunno, don't wanna. And suddenly English sounds like one giant word. That's why scripted classroom English feels easy. But real conversations feel chaotic. Real English is emotional, messy, fast, human, and honestly, one of the weirdest feelings as an English learner is understanding English perfectly in your room, then suddenly understanding nothing outside. You watch YouTube with subtitles. You feel confident. Then someone asks, hey, how's it going? And your soul leaves your body. But this next part is important because this is where learners either quit or finally improve. The fastest way to understand real English is not studying more grammar. It's exposure, lots of exposure. But there's a trick. You need comprehensible chaos. Not content, that's too easy. Not content, that's impossible. Content that feels slightly difficult, but still understandable. That's where your brain adapts. So instead of trying to understand 100%, train yourself to survive ambiguity. Understand the message first, details later, because native speakers miss words too. Yes, even natives sometimes say, wait, what did he say? And somehow, this realization makes English feel less scary. Okay, one last test. This one is fast. Ready?
So what ended up happening? Honestly, total disaster. No way. Yeah, we got there late, couldn't find parking, then it started pouring rain. You're kidding. And then my phone died. Okay, yeah, that's brutal.
So what ended up happening? Honestly, total disaster. No way. Yeah, we got there late. Couldn't find parking. Then it started pouring rain. You're kidding. And then my phone died. Okay, yeah, that's brutal. Now think about this. A few minutes ago, this type of English probably felt stressful. But now, your brain is already adapting. Because understanding fast English is not magic. It's training, pattern recognition, and confidence. The more real English you hear, the less your brain panics. One day, you'll stop translating, stop freezing, stop overthinking, and you'll suddenly realize you're just understanding naturally. So here's your challenge. Don't rewind every sentence. Don't panic when you miss words. And don't wait until you understand 100%. Because real English learners improve the moment they become comfortable with imperfection. And if you survived this video, you're already doing better than most people. See you in the next one.